welcome to part 2 of Learning to Dota with Moogles, aka FOOTDIVE, whatever you want to call me, that's fine. Now, in this part we're going to talk about some of the mechanics of Dota that are different from League of Legends. Now, if you're familiar with League of Legends, you know how important farming is. Farming is basically your laning phase, and this does not differ much from Dota. Farming is incredibly important regardless of if you're mid, top, bottom, playing a carry, playing an initiator. You need farm. Now, if you're in lane with someone that needs more farm than you, obviously you're not going to be able to take it because, you know, say you're in a lane with, like, anti-mage and you're playing Dazzle, right? Now, Dazzle is a lane support. It's basically his job. It even says it, you know, in his tag. Lane support, whatever you want to call it. Now, there is one core difference from League of Legends last hitting and Dota last hitting, and that is denying. This is what gives you supports that are sitting there with your thumb up your ass in League of Legends doing nothing for the entire time to do. Now, in Dota, if you are supporting, say, a hard carry like Anti-Mage, Phantom Lancer, Drow, whatever, and you're playing a ranged support, you know, Dazzle, Witch Doctor, you know, whatever, you can, once your creeps are under 1/3 of their health, deny them. Now, what this means is you attack your own creeps by hitting default bounded A and then left click on the creep. If the creep is low enough, you will kill your own creep. You'll get a little exclamation point over. Your character usually says something funny like haha denied or whatever. And then you have denied your opponent the gold from that creep because it's not possible for them to get the last hit. And they only get a fraction of the normal experience. It's either 1/3 or 2/3. I'll have to look it up. I'll post it in the description of the video because I don't want to remake this video again. Now, one of the things that is important to note with this is that denying pushes your lane. Now, pushing your lane is not necessarily a bad thing because you are less susceptible to ganks. It is a bad thing, however, because sometimes it's hard to last hit under the tower, especially early game if you didn't start with a Quelling Blade. We'll go over that later. And it lets them push your tower down earlier. This also plays in if you've been pulling your creeps in the safe lane to the creep camp, the neutral creep camp. The jungle works a bit differently in Dota. We'll go over that in another video as well. Now, not only can you deny creeps to deny your opponent's experience in gold, you can deny your towers. Your tier 1 tower, aka your first tower, you know, you have 3 in each lane, followed by the 2 at your base. Or that's how it works in Dota, not necessarily in League of Legends. In Dota, your first towers have 1,300 health, right? When they drop under 10% of that, you can deny them. Now, if your first tower, say it's at 130, 129 hit points or whatever, you can do the same thing, hit A and left click on your tower, and you will deny it. This prevents your opponents from getting the gold from destroying your tower. You still lose the tower, is the downside, but if you're quick enough to get to it before they do, you can prevent them from getting that gold. In some cases, I would say that this is worth your support's life. Now, I'm saying if your support manages to deny the tower and then they get killed by all 5 people that are pushing, that was worth it because you prevented your opponent's team from getting, it's like, I think 150 gold for everyone on the team, plus like 250 for whoever destroys the tower. That's worth a support's life, in my opinion. Now, if you throw your support out there, they get killed and they don't deny the tower, it's not worth it. So you really need to know what you're doing. Sometimes it's better to just let the tower go if you don't think you're going to be able to make it. Which brings me to my next point. You can deny allied heroes if they have a DOT on them. Now, as you'll learn with Dota, I'll start to go over some of the intricacies of it. You sometimes can deny your allies if they have a DOT, sometimes you can't. This sometimes varies dependent upon the ability that's damaging them over time. For example, Axe's Battle Hunger cannot... You are not allowed to deny a teammate that has Battle Hunger on them. Why? I don't know. It's considered a DOT. You cannot. There are other times that you should not deny your ally because they could live. DOTs do disrupt salves, but they could be healed. You know, say they have 50 health left and the next tick would drop them to 25, but there's a Dazzle right next to them getting ready to heal them, and you deny them. Yeah, your opponent doesn't get any gold, but you kind of fuck your teammate over because you denied him when you shouldn't have. It's not necessarily a good thing. But it can help in certain situations. Like if the other team has a Venomancer, be ready to deny some teammates because you're going to have to do it. Unless I'm mistaken, though, they've made it so you can't deny your allied heroes that won't die from the current DOT on them. Example, say they had under a percentage of their health and you could deny them before. Now, if they were going to live with like 2 or 3 HP, it won't let you do it because it does the math for you and you don't have to think, oh, well, maybe he's going to die. So I could be wrong there, but from what I've heard, it seems that way, and I haven't been able to deny some people sometimes when they ended up living, so maybe it was changed, I'm not sure. So those are some of the mechanics of Dota as far as denying. It's something you'll get used to. When you first start, I wouldn't worry about it too much because you're going to be playing against people that are likely also new, since most people right now are not quote-unquote smurfing yet and making low-level accounts and smashing people that don't know what they're doing. So you're going to be playing against people that are around your level. Now, I did have one person ask me about my personal experience with Dota. In Dota 2, I'm not going to lie, I have a negative win-to-loss ratio. This is not entirely my fault. Yes, there are games that I could have probably played better, but this is not my first foray into Dota. I also played Dota All-Stars for 3 years before playing League of Legends and Heroes of Newerth. I would say that overall in Dota, I have over 1,000 games played, maybe 2,000, I'm not sure. In League of Legends, I have definitely over 2,000 games played because my account says that I have over 2,000 games played. And in Heroes of Newerth, I have maybe 400 or 500 games played, so I'm not new at all to the multiplayer online battle arena / action RTS genre. I do know what I'm talking about. As you can clearly see here, I only have Nyx right here because I played him one game and did really well, and I was like, hey, I'm going to show him on my profile. But these are 3 of my favorite heroes. They're also 3 of the heroes that I'm best with. Most successful in this game simply refers to the number of wins you have with aforementioned hero. But these are 3 of my favorites, so if you ever hear me use these 3 in examples, it's because I know them very well. I know these 3 heroes, I can play these 3 heroes, and I like playing these 3 heroes. Now, as far as other intricacies of the Dota mechanics over League of Legends, a lot of Dota items have actives, whereas in League of Legends, not that many do. These are all of the items in Dota. There are quite a few, you're going to need to learn them. I will go over some of the more important ones in the next video. But this is kind of coming to a close as far as mechanics. There are some other little things that I can mention, like heroes in Dota have turn time. You don't go instantly from forwards to backwards, your hero actually has to turn around. This is different from League of Legends, where there's like a 1-frame turnaround and you just start running in the other direction. Also in Dota, everything has a cast time, which is a little different from League. Things don't happen instantly. Some other little intricacies of Dota, there's a built-in 50 millisecond delay. So it's like you have 50 ping plus whatever your actual ping is. That can be annoying if you're playing with 100 ping and you're used to playing with 100 ping, and then all of a sudden you have 150 when you're playing Dota. It feels weird. But it's something you get used to. Everyone's playing with that same handicap, so you're not entirely at a disadvantage. It's just somewhat annoying, but you end up getting used to it. Anyway, the next video is going to go over some items that I think are important for everybody to know and learn, and that's going to be it for part 2. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, leave a comment, subscribe, send me a message, whatever you'd like to do. Have a nice day.